if at all the elections went the other way and Raila would have won. But now we're talking about on the Standard, taming Raila Odinga. Now this has become a local problem. Now we need to tame Raila Odinga. According to the Standard, even before the dust has settled on Raila Odinga's loss in the African Union race, a push for his appointment as Prime Minister is gaining momentum. Proponents want President Ruto to implement the NATO report, creating the position in the Constitution. Raila's decision could reshape the political landscape ahead of 2027. The question everyone is asking is, what next for Raila? And I'm sure President William Ruto and his allies will be very keen on containing it. So this, do you agree that this headline, Taming Raila, is an apt one for this time?
Thank you, Dimori. First and foremost, let me just make my last comment on what transpired. And I would say it could be more better if Raila took this campaign on his own. But at some point, it appeared as if it's William Ruto's project. And in terms of that element of diplomacy you have alluded to, probably we have done dismally on that particular aspect. And that's why I would think that Raila could have done better if he was found not a push candidate by the head of state. If he was if he managed this particular campaign on his own, but that most likely could not be possible due to resources, because it was a state project. And coming to the big headlines in our standard paper, it is true. Raila has to be contained, and you cannot leave Raila without any consideration of comfort, political comfort, and get assured of peace. Raila is capable of getting back to streets. Raila is capable of telling his supporters to take sufuria back to the head, and he's capable of dramatizing anything. So a wise president is a president who will not ignore that element and make sure that he fix Raila somewhere, that he can be able to take the rest of 2.5 years in comfort zone. This is one. There's a clamor in the House, and this clamor is about matters to do with the last court decision on majority and minority. If we want to sit down that clamor, then the state has to do something. And even though it will still go by the determination of the speaker that the Kenya Kwanza is still the majority, they have to do something. Only organizations of committee chairmen,
yes,
and at least offer something to the.
I've seen a headline with exactly that. It says Ruto yields to Raila in deal on leadership of key House panels. So they say President William Ruto and Raila Odinga have struck a deal on sharing of National Assembly Committee leadership posts to avoid paralysis in the House following a divisive ruling on which side is a majority. But is this enough?
No, that's not enough. That is to comfort the members, what we call ODM membership. This is Junet and the team, to make sure that there is a comfort there. You know, there was a clamor that in fact there is a broad-based outside, but that broad, it is broad in the House but not based. So something has to be done to make it based. And the other thing is that you realize also William was wise enough. He did what we call interviews of the PSs. But he never appointed them. Then this is time to do that, because casualties, the casualty now has to be given a portion now, so that also to comfort. I'm sure that in fact Raila will benefit a lot in the new lineup of PSs. That's another. And also at large, the state appointments. This is including what we call ambassadorial positions. And this particular case, Raila is still a very young girl that actually the head of state will be demanding to. Note that in fact, the head of state has no choice. Either he built a new friendship with his former deputy president, or else he keep Raila in his chest. Otherwise, political survival, and especially in his re-election, he has no choice. He has to bite the bullet.
Does that come at a risk that probably he now, as you say, the president doesn't have much of a choice? But giving in to Raila Odinga's demands a bit too much could leave the president in a very weaker position, much weaker position.
The president has no choice. If Raila will demand for prime minister, it will be given. Because the head of state will just weigh the value of Mudavadi and the value of Raila in a vis-a-vis vote block. That is his first arithmetic. If Raila will demand for Kidiki's position, the deputy president, Raila will have no shot but to sacrifice, because he will look for the bigger picture. Because today, if that particular relationship breaks, then he has no hope of his future politics.
And Raila Odinga knows this, that he's in a very good position to demand for a lot of things right now.
Fred, Chino Achebe would say that Raila has the knife and the yam. And I want to pick it from where Honorable Gakuya has left. Last week, on the floor of the House,